morning everyone, Judy Pineda here, and this is Ketolicious Life. I just started this channel about a month ago. Here on my channel we talk about all things keto. I did start the ketogenic diet about 5 years ago, and so my goal with this channel is to educate, to encourage, and to really help those who want to do this be able to do it with support and help. And so we're a family here on my channel. If that's something that seems of interest to you, please go ahead and subscribe below. If you don't know what the ketogenic diet is, I'm going to go ahead and link my very first video in the description box that talks about how to start a keto diet for beginners. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the top 5 reasons why keto. I know there's so many different diets out there. You may be stumbling across this because you're trying to figure out what's the best diet for you. And what I can tell you is that the ketogenic diet for me personally has been the best and most sustainable diet that I have tried. So if you want to know more and you're excited about learning why keto, then just keep watching. Okay, let's jump right in. So the first thing I want to do is I want to put a disclaimer out there. I am not a doctor. I do not have a degree in the ketogenic diet. What I'm going to be sharing today just is based on my opinion and what I have learned and experienced over the last 5 years of doing and following the ketogenic diet, along with research that I have done. So, number 1 reason why to do keto. I mentioned this in my first video. If you haven't watched it, like I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the description box below. But ketones are a better fuel source for us. So the best way for me to describe it is when you have a car and you go to put gas, you put either 89 or you put 91. I think it's 89, 91, and I don't know what the other is, but there's premium gases you move up. The more premium the gas is, the better the car runs. It's the same thing with our bodies. Our bodies are like a vehicle, and our bodies need fuel to live and to run. And so our bodies are used to burning glucose for fuel. And when we are in the ketogenic state or in the state of ketosis, our body starts to burn ketones for fuel, okay? So why am I telling you this? Because ketones are a better fuel source for us. For 2 reasons. 1, they are more efficient fuel source, and 2, they are a cleaner fuel source. So let me explain what that means. When it comes to efficiencies, what they do is they help expand the electrons that transport them, allowing the cells to get more energy. So what ends up happening is, when your body is burning glucose, you have your sugar ups and downs. They say when you give a child sugar, that they will sometimes, go off the rails and then they'll drop. Same thing with us as adults. But when you are burning ketones for fuel, your energy stays very, very level. And speaking from experience for me, since I've been doing it, I have so much more energy. I don't get as sleepy. And then when I am ready for bed, and I'm one that wakes up 3 or 4 times a night. Since I've been doing the ketogenic diet, I do not have any problems waking up in the night. I sleep all the way through. We also will experience less brain fog, and that's because our brains are getting the right fuel source that is more efficient, okay? The second reasons ketones are better is they are a cleaner energy source. So what that means is they don't produce the same toxins in the body that glucose does. And so when it goes to the cells to provide support, it's less toxic. And so that is the number 1 reason why keto. Okay, the number 2 reason why keto is because fat is not your enemy. I know that all of us have learned over the years that fat is going to make you fat, not to eat fat, watch your fat intake. But when you were on the ketogenic diet, fat, healthy fats is your friend, okay? Now, if you're like me, my biggest thing that I enjoy are fatty foods. Now, I'm talking anything creamy is my thing. Sour cream, avocados, cream cheese, like a lot of dairy, heavy cream. Half and half is okay, but milk has too much sugar in it. That probably sums up all of the things that I personally crave. I am not a sugar junkie, and so when I decided to try the keto diet, I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't that hard, because my weakness and my soft spot for food per se would be those fats that I talked about. And so knowing that I could eat those fats on this diet, I was like, sign me up. Where do I sign on the dotted line? I'm going for it. And let me tell you, it has been a game changer for me, because just eliminating my carbs, but having those other things have been the key to my weight loss. Okay, number 3 reason why keto. Fat actually burns fat. And so again, we've been programmed to think that fat is bad for us, but it is not bad for us on the ketogenic diet. So let me kind of describe and explain how the process works. When your body is no longer using glucose and insulin for fuel, and it starts to use your ketones for fuel, what ends up happening is, let's say you are eating carbohydrates, okay? As you eat carbohydrates, as soon as you're done eating, your body starts to digest what you eat, but it never goes after those stored fats that we're trying to lose in our body. But what happens on the ketogenic diet is, when you're not consuming those carbohydrates, the only thing your body can do is burn fat. So not only does it burn the fat that you eat, but then it starts burning and going after your fat stores. The number 4 reason why keto is because fat is satiating and it keeps you full for longer periods of time. I know for me, when I did the ketogenic diet probably about 5 years ago for the first time, that was the longest kind of I went without having like a cheat meal. I literally went for 4 to 5 months and did not cheat. And what I noticed during that time is that it got easier and easier the more my body got used to burning fat for fuel, that I was able to go longer periods of times without eating. And so when talking about how fat is satiating and it keeps you full, it is definitely true. And it does take a while. So I do want to say this as well, is that our bodies are so used to, and depending on how old you are, it has been used to burning glucose and insulin for fuel. And so when you switch to the ketogenic diet, your body gets a little confused in the beginning, and it does store that fat. It just it thinks you're starving it yourself, and it really doesn't. It's just waiting for you to give it carbs, okay? So that's why it takes a while before you start seeing the weight loss drop. And I think for me, the first time I did it, I didn't really start to see the significant weight loss drop until about month 2. That's when my body started to realize, okay, this is the way that this person is going to eat from now on. And so now it's time for me to start running in the way that our bodies were meant to run when God created us. And the 5th and last reason why yes to the keto diet is because it works, you guys. It works. Now, many diets work. They really do. But what happens with a lot of diets is we as humans, it's a yo-yo process. So what ends up happening is we do it for a while, and then we're like, I can't do this anymore, because honestly we feel like we're starving ourselves, and so we give up, and then we'll eat those foods that aren't good for us, and it's just this never-ending cycle. But with the keto diet, what ends up happening is after so long, when I talked earlier about being fat adapted, that truly is what happens. Your body just gets used to processing food that way. And when you do actually add carbohydrates back into your diet, it can sometimes make you sick. I know for me, I remember the first time I did it, I went on a vacation, and a friend of mine bought us all donuts, and I ate one, and boy, did I regret it. I had the worst stomach ache. And so you really stop craving those foods. Now, am I going to say that I never on this keto diet ever really eat carbs again? No, that's not true. What you can do, like I mentioned in my first video, is once you meet your goal weight, what I like to do is during the week, I will, obviously stay on the keto diet. keep my carbs low, and then on the weekends I will do what's called carbing up. And I'm going to talk about that in our next video. Carbing up is a process where you could either do it 1 to 2 days a week where you just eat whatever you want. You eat carbs throughout the day, or it could be a carb up meal. So you might go through a whole week and just decide on Sunday, I'm going to have one meal that's going to have carbs in it, and that's a carb up. And what that actually does is our bodies get so used to a certain way of our eating that it'll realize, okay, they're not starving themselves. I'm going to just run the way I normally run. So that's why we go through plateaus sometimes when we are doing the ketogenic diet. And so carving up can help just kind of jumpstart that again. So if you're interested in learning more about carving up, we're going to do that in my next video. And that's all I have for you guys today. If you have any additional questions, go ahead and leave it in the comment box. And yeah, so if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe and click that notification bell. That way the next time you will get notified when I upload a video. So thank you so much. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time. Bye.